So in the last video on the auctioneer and stuff, this is another auctioneering video, is still filling the same pool. Last video I said something about a tongue twister that I'd found and started messing around with and chanting and memorizing stuff like that. It was Betty Botter. Well, also said something about numbers, and the biggest hurdle for me so far in learning the auctioneer chant is rhythm. I don't know if it's because I'm a white country boy or what, but I have no rhythm whatsoever. And the video that I had gotten, Ralph Wade's video, is in it. The dude is, first off, this dude is legit. He's coming around on a train, like an old train. Y'all know the rhythm that train has. That guy is like spot on. I mean, he sounds like a train coming down the tracks. But of course, he's a world champion, and I'm just some redneck that's preaches on Sundays, teaches on Wednesdays, and does whatever else in between, and studies for both of them. That wants to be an auctioneer just because. I mean, maybe I get to do some charity stuff, maybe at the county fair or something, I don't know, but I'd love to do something like that. But anyways, numbers for me are hard, and it's not that I can't count, it's just you're not counting like 1, 2, 3. You've got to sing numbers in this. Now y'all remember, I'm just like a month and a half, like 6, maybe at the most 8 weeks into trying to figure this out. And I know if any of the goobs I used to work with at the fire department, such as Nick, sees this, he's gonna get tickled at it. But anyways, so like the numbers is I'm trying to learn to sing these numbers, or to smooth them out, smooth the edges out or whatever. And again, in my search to do this, as I found a guy that kind of helped along on this. So you're not counting just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The thing with the auctioneer apparently is you've got to remember where you're at and where you're going. So the auctioneer, to me, it seems like all he's doing is sitting up there dickering. All right, and this is what I grew up doing. You know, I don't know, but I can think of several things, from backhoes to boats to horses that I've sold or seen my granddaddy sell. And these old men will get up and they'll lean up against whatever it is, and they'll be like, well, what do you take for it? You know, and they just go back and forth. It's a lost art. You don't see anymore these goobs that get on, what's your bottom dollar? That's not the purpose of selling. I mean, if you're one of them, go dicker with somebody. That's the funnest part about it. Well, anyways, that's what the auctioneer is doing. So you got to remember where you're at and what you're wanting for the item, whatever it is you're selling. So back to the numbers. So it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you've got words in there that make up around the numbers, and you've got to have a rhythm to it. And I'm still working on the rhythm part, but I'll kind of show you what I've done. And so to learn to count with this, to build the chant, is you've got your tongue twister, or I had my tongue twister, and then it goes now 1. All right, that's where you're gonna start off at. And I bet I have counted to 1,000,004 times since I've been doing this, if you add all the numbers up. So it's now 1, now 2, now 3, now 4, now 5, now 6, now 7, now 8, now 9, now 10. And then that's where your nows are. So then you start, or what I did was started doing is you count forward, the back, then forward is what I'm doing. So it'd be now 1 would have been 2, now 2 would have been 3, now 3 would have been 4, now 4 would have been 5, now 5 would have been 6, now 6 would have been 7, now 7 would have been 8, now 8 would have been 9, now 9 would have been 10. And you just keep going like that. And then you add other filler words in there, such as would have bid, would you give, would you bid, would you give, would you go, or 3. One of mine that I have been throwing in there is bid it on, or would have bid it on, would you bid it on. What else is it? Bid it, or bidding. What's another one that I have used? Would it give, would you give? I don't know, I may have already said that one. So then is you start out with where you're at, or where you're trying to set it in at. So say you're starting to, let's, for sake of ease, and I'm probably going to mess this up and I won't edit it out, but you would go something like I'm bid at $1, now 2, would have bid it at 2, would go 2, now 2, now 2, would you bid it at 2, bid it at 2, bid it on 2, bid it on, bid it on, bid it on 2, and then you just continue working like that right there. And they say don't worry about the speed, but it comes as you go. But it's always where you're at, what you're trying to get. So I'm bid at $1, now 2, would you bid it at 2, now $2, now 3, would you bid it at now 2, or see, I told you I messed it up. $1, I'm bid it at $1, now 2, would you bid it at 2, now I'm bid $2, now 3, would you bid it at 3, would you bid it at 3, would you bid it at 3, would you give 3, would you bid it on 3, now $3, now 4, would you bid it at 4, now 4, bid it at 4, now $4 bid, now 5, would you bid it at 5, would you bid it at 5, would you bid it at 5, bid it on 5, bid it on 5, would you bid it on 5, now $5 bid, now 6, would you bid it on 6, would you bid it at 6, would you bid it on 6, now $6 bid, now 7, would you bid it on 7, now 7, would you bid it on 7, now 7, would you bid it on 7, bid it on 7, and $7 bid, now 8, would you bid it at 8, now $8 bid, now 9, would you bid it on 9, bid it on 9, now $9 bid, now 10, would you bid it on 10, now $10 bid, and then continue on to wherever you're going to. And of course, with the livestock, is you're selling by the pound or by the hundredweight, and it gets a little bit different. I mean, you're starting at $1. You got 90s and 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s within that, which the 10 at 90 would put you at $1. So it's interesting, it's fun. It gives me something to do while I'm driving down the road besides listen to the radio. And I got a couple Chris Ledoux CDs I get tired listening to, but that's mainly what I do driving down the road, is where I've been practicing that. So we'll see what happens with it. And like I said, I may make a fool, may go down there and completely bomb the test, or talk somebody in once I get everything doing to give me a shot at the auctioneer and just completely flop. I don't know, but I'm going to give it a shot. I've taught myself to do a lot of other things, so why not teach myself to be an auctioneer? But anyways, that's where I'm at on that today. Talk to you later.